Hello, Portage. For this week's art lesson, we are going to learn how to make different printed papers, so different methods of transferring ink to another piece of paper. So we are going to learn about marbling. We're going to learn about printing with chalk. This one's going to be learning how to print from a styrofoam tray, like you would get from your frozen hamburger meat. And then we have one that's printing from tin foil. So at the end of all of these lessons, after your work dries, you are absolutely welcome to add them to your sketchbook. You can upload anything that you want to Artsonia, at least if you are John Muir and Woodridge students. You'll have to talk with Mrs. Martins about uploading if you are a student from Rouge, Lewiston, or Endeavor. Let's get started.
So the first method of painted paper or printed paper that we're going to learn about today is paper marbling, which is where you get this really cool swirly. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to shake the foam pretty well, and I'm going to just spray it in about the amount of space I need for my paper. Okay, it doesn't have to go everywhere. You don't have to fill the whole thing. You just need a little bit. And then I'm going to get out my food coloring. So I'm just going to start out by putting a few drops of food coloring right on top of my foam. I can pick another color. I'm trying to just do one drop at a time and not put a big giant puddle on it. And then I'm going to put red, but I'm going to make sure that the red is near the blue. I'm going to try not to put the red near the green if I can help it. Once you've gotten all the colors that you want on there, go ahead and get out your butter knife. I don't want to over mix it though, because then it'll just turn into a big colored mess and you won't get those super cool swirls. So once I have it mixed, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my paper. Now my paper already has marks on it like we talked about, so I'm going to make sure mine's picture side down because that's what I want. I'm just going to set it on top of the foam there. Gently press. I'm not trying to press it all the way down to the cookie sheet. Okay, I'm just gently patting it. You can see it's kind of starting to hit the paper now. And I'm going to pick this up. Okay. And I'm going to take the flat edge of my knife and I'm going to scrape the extra foam away. And I'm just scraping it over here because I don't want that anymore. It's not going to do anything good for me. I'm scraping away. And some of the prints that I made, I actually printed just this, the kind of ruined foam, but I also made a few where I went back through and added some more right on top. The next method we're going to try is actually going to be chalk printing. So what you're going to do is, with a different tray or the same tray, fill it with just a little bit of water. This is about halfway to my first knuckle, so it's not a lot of water. And you're going to want to use chalk. You can use regular classroom chalk, or if you have sidewalk chalk, that'll work as well. Think about what colors you might want to have. I just have regular classroom chalk. And you're going to want a cheese grater. I know that sounds really strange. If you don't have a cheese grater, you can honestly use like the edge of the butter knife, or just something to scrape. And I'm going to just scrape some some chalk right into here, putting it where I want. Okay, I can add another color. And you don't want to disturb the water, you just want to let the chalk land where it's going to land. And I want a little bit yellow. Pardon me. Uh-oh. That's alright, I'll take it right out. And once you have your chalk where you want it, you're going to take your piece of paper. I got that, I'm going to put my picture side down. You don't want to submerge it, you just want to let it float on top. Okay, just touch your surfaces really lightly, pick it up, and your chalk will have landed on your paper. So, and you can let that dry, and then you can do more and more. Most of the chalk will have lifted off of the water, some of the extras will sink to the bottom. So any old chalk won't get in the way, so if you and your siblings want to share, or moms and dads want to share, you can just use the one pan. So, our next printing methods involve using things you can find around your kitchen as well. That if you find, so I have this special stuff called scratch foam. I've been using it as a painting palette, but the best thing to use for this is actually those like pink styrofoam trays. They're not always pink, that you get from meat, so like packaged meat from the grocery store. Those foam trays are actually the best thing to use for them, and I just cut a rectangle out of those. So I'm going to draw a picture, and to keep in mind, if you do numbers or letters, make sure that you do them backwards, because we're going to be printing. So and then I can take just regular markers, whatever markers you have, not Sharpies. They do have to be the kind of water-based ones like Crayola or the Crazy Art. You can even get some from the Dollar Tree if you don't already have them. And then you're just going to color this. So this is foam, so it's not going to stick like paper, but you're going to color it using the side of your marker is best. If you use the tippy top, you're going to dent the foam in places you don't want it dented. Watch out where you put your hand, because the marker will come off on your hand. I'm going to color my flower. I'm going to color the sun. Now the marker is not trying to get into the cracks. You're actually trying to color above the dents that you made. I'm going to color the rest of it. And then I'm just going to take a piece of paper. I've got notes on that page, so you don't need to see all my notes, but it's just a basic piece of computer paper just like before. And you're going to want to get that paper wet. So I like to use a spray bottle. You can use a wet rag or a clean sponge or a paper towel. Okay. You're going to put your foam on top. And mine was a little bit too wet. There shouldn't be that much coming out. But it's going to come off of there and onto there. Okay, so mine was way too wet, so I'm going to do a different one. But the good thing about this is that you can use a paper towel and clean it off. And try all over again. So we'll try again. a much better print. It's going to look like a pretty little watercolor painting. So yeah, you can color it, you can wipe this off and color it as many times as you want. You can make, you can leave them plain and just color on top of the foam. You don't even have to dent it. But yeah, have fun. And the last method we're going to be doing is using tin foil. So this is just regular aluminum foil. Mine's from Walmart. It's just regular foil from the kitchen. And you're going to take those markers that we had before, the Crayola kind that you don't want a Sharpie for this, okay, and you're just going to color on the foil however you want. You can draw pictures of things, you can draw just shapes. And then again with that little squirt bottle, not too much, not too little. Just spray it one time. I've already drawn a picture, weird looking unicorn, okay, and you can press it down. Now this unicorn was drawn with Sharpie because the Sharpie won't bleed with the water. I'm going to press down, and you can pick the color up right off of the foil. Any of the prints that we've made today, you can use, and you can add those to the sketchbooks that you made. You can just use them as decorative paper that you can color on later. You can pre-color on them and add them to your sketchbook. You can hang them in your house and use them for the gallery, and just have fun using